Hey guys, Professor Bill, Comic Book University, and Hellions, issue number 3. Damn it, this was a good issue. This was a solid, flawless issue. I'm going to get into that. I'm going to make a comparison. It's probably going to piss a few people off. That's what I'm here for, though. This was, oh, wow, I can't wait. Unfortunately, you're going to have to wait until I talk about who made this comic book, because credit deserves to be where credit's due. Zeb Wells is the writer. The artist is Stefan Segovia. David Curiel on color art. VC's Ariana Maher on letters, and designed by Tom Mueller. Stefan Segovia and Rain Barreto do the cover, and there are 2 variant covers on this one, and it deserves it. Production, Anthony Gambino. Jonathan Hickman is head of X. This issue 3 of Hellions, is called The Nothing People. Damn, dude. So Brian Edward Hill would straight up be proud of Zeb Wells in this comic, bro. That's just real talk. And that's, to me, like, that would be high praise. You know what I'm saying? All the work that he did in that, 6 issues of Fallen Angels, with Quanon making Psylocke so different from her former counterpart, Betsy Braddock, it shows in this issue, because it's really like, I had to go back and double check, like, is it actually Zeb Wells who did this, or was it Brian Edward Hill? Is Zeb Wells like a cover? Is that like a pseudonym for Hill? No, and no disrespect to Wells or just whatever. No, like, this was such a solid comic book, and it goes beyond even that, like, paying homage to the literary genius that had just happened not too long ago, because he's taking Quanon, Wells is taking Quanon and making it his own character. You can't do that successfully unless you really know the character. Homeslice knows the character. He knows her well. All right? I am very confident Psylocke is going to be taken care of in this one. Not too happy that they cut her boob. I'm saying there's an old joke about boobs with scars, but, that's the way that all the ex-women were drawn back in the ex-babes, we used to call them back in the day. You know what I'm saying? When just, they all look like, I'm saying, like Barbie would have looked at this and said, that's not realistic. You know what I'm saying? How do you walk? How do you walk? But all that being said, dude, this was such a solid comic book, and it's not just Psylocke that was done well. You got Wild Child in here, and he's fighting, and at first I'm like, this is weird that she's focusing on this fight instead of just dropping him, but she can't, because she needs every single piece on that chessboard that she can keep for herself before she starts taking other chess pieces, and Wild Child is a valuable piece, even if he's just a rook. Even if he's just a pawn, he's still a pawn with a freaking, really sharp set of claws on the end of his hands. Dude, this was solid. This was a good take on Wild Child. Wait, it gets better. Grey Crow, the original Scalp Hunter in this. I guess I can understand. I guess they're feeling like, it's a bad thing to say that stuff, but whatever, it is what it is. Scalp Hunter was freaking good in this, and all he did was hang upside down. But this is where storytelling is also involving the artist. And Segovia, he just draws Grey Crow. He's just like staring at him. And of course he'll talk once in a while, but there are moments where he's not talking, yet he's still expressive. And he's speaking without words, and it's good, Somebody who also wasn't supposed to be speaking was Havoc. He had his mouth sewn up like freaking, what's-his-face, Neo from The Matrix, the first one, right? He grabs a piece of glass, and we've seen this in the comics before, but we've never seen it being rewarded quite like this. He just cut that mouth open. He's like, yes, and you can't talk to me. You can't do that. I'm just sick of hearing this stuff. And I'm like, wow, that's weird. And the MVP in this issue, as far as the characters are concerned, is Maddie Pryor. You want to talk about getting an entire psych profile in somebody. Bro, nobody pulls it off like Wells pulls it off with Maddie Pryor in this. Her abandonment issues are so damned on point in here. Probably the best character representation that I've seen in regards to the character ever. This is that rare grail kind of comic book that you look at and you say, the writing is perfect, the art is spectacular. This is an A+ book. It's books like this that make it easy to grade a book. You know what I'm saying? Everybody does the freaking, it's a 10 out of 10 or a 5 out of 5 or whatever. This comic book university, it's a school, bruh. All right? You get an A+ in this one. The writing and the art in this, everything about this comic book was so spot on, was so perfect, was so stellar. You know, there was another really good book that came out this week. If I didn't have a backboard over here. Y'all remember this one? Did a review for this. It was freaking really good. I'm having a hard time. I mean, we waited for this one for a while. Had to build up the anticipation. Had a lot of time to do corrections and make it better. It's a thicker book, right? So there's a lot, like probably twice as much story in here. And yet somehow I'm looking at this book and saying, dude, they did a lot with this book. That for just a regular old off-the-shelf comic book, they did a lot with this comic book. I'm kind of leaning towards this one being the best comic book that I've read during the week. It's hard to not say this one, dude, but a lot of that just feels like loyalty. This, coming out of nowhere, damn, this was hot. This is how you write a comic book. This is how you draw a comic book. This is what comic book covers were made for, to put stories and art like this in between them. Damn it, this was an amazing comic book. If you missed this one, you go back, you march your ass to the comic book store, again if you have to, whatever, you pick this up. Holy crap. If you're an X fan, you're going to get every single reference in here. It's really not even that hard, I don't think. Damn it, this was so good. Guys, jump on this one. Also, jump on that like button and watch an ad. Professor Bell, Comic Book University. Class dismissed.